these webinars. And those recordings actually get added to our Inside Real Estate YouTube channel. So a little bit of background about today's webinar. This is a KV Core Success Meetup, tips, tricks, and Q&A. If, maybe someone shared this link out with you and you have no idea how they found this webinar, how you joined, how to join another one, how often we post, let me give you a little introduction. Now, in your KV Core platform, you guys should have access to our live training calendar. In the live training calendar, which you'll go and choose the time zone of your choosing. Every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you should see these KV Core Success Meetups available to you. I'll let you know, typically Tuesdays and Thursdays tend to cover KV Core basics. Wednesdays tend to get into kind of some more advanced marketing strategies. Tuesdays and Thursdays tend to be covered by a KV Core trainer. Our Done For You services team actually typically runs the Wednesday offerings. And that sometimes does fluctuate. I think next week we're doing Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Wednesdays. Anyway, so those success meetups, they're tips, tricks, and Q&A. So they have a set topic that we'll be covering. We do heavily rely on kind of the requests of the people which attend. So if you'd love to see a specific feature or subject in KV Core highlighted, feel free to let us know in the chat or Q&A. We do kind of take your suggestions. That always helps us decide what to report on or what to showcase. But also it is open Q&A. So if you have questions along the way, again, feel free to pop those in the chat and Q&A. I'll definitely make some time for that. If you want to know ahead of time what the subject will be for any given KV Core Success Meetup, we try to post regularly at the beginning of each week what the topics will be in our Inside Real Estate Facebook group, which I'll pop this link for the Facebook group in the chat for you guys just in case, but you can access the Facebook group and the YouTube channel through the live training calendar. There's links there. So here is the Facebook group for you guys. If you don't belong, highly recommend joining on in so you can synergize with like-minded individuals, get some pro tips on how other people are finding success with their KV Core platforms. And then of course we do post those topics here. So just so you guys know what's going on for this week, today we're going to talk about showing your contacts some love for Valentine's Day. Tomorrow, Heather, our Done For You services specialist, will be talking about using Zapier to trigger actions inside smart campaigns. And then Thursday, I believe my fellow trainer, Christina, will be talking about maximizing daily call creation, which is a very handy feature in KV Core. If you're not familiar, go check out Thursday. Now, if you're not able to attend these webinars live, they're all recorded. And we have started posting them to the Facebook group on occasion, but we also like to add them to the YouTube channel. So I'll share out one more link for the YouTube channel. I've got one more resource, and then we'll get started with with our subject for today. So here's the Inside Real Estate YouTube channel. Let's post the general channel in the chat. If you go to playlists, we do have one that's specifically KV Core Success Meetups. If Success Meetups aren't your jam, maybe you're looking for kind of more advanced topics. We have some about Nosy Neighbor. We have some about next level strategies, retargeting, marketplace demos. So there's a lot of offerings there for you guys to choose from. All right, so I think we covered kind of the basics here. I've got one more resource I'm going to share out with you guys. So if I haven't introduced myself already, my name is Mariel Ortiz. I'm a product trainer here at Inside Real Estate. Been with the company for several years. I actually started out as a member of our lead configuration team. They are the ones that specialize in doing bulk imports of contacts. So I have a CRM and contact import kind of background before I became a trainer. But I have gone and created for you guys, every time I teach one of these success meetups, I try to create a doc for you guys to utilize. So you guys should all have viewing access to this doc that I've created. It's kind of like a little agenda. So I've included today's date, my name. I've got some links to support articles from KV Core. I'll let you know if for some reason you're not able to click on this doc, but I mentioned there's a support article for, say, smart campaigns, and you want to find it yourself. Just so you know, you can always access support articles through the support and training tab here in your platform. Go to Support Center. All the support articles are there. So if you're ever looking for it on your own, you can go that way as well. So Today, we'll talk a little bit about some holiday messaging suggestions. I've actually pre-created some Valentine's Day email templates for you guys. So just for attending here today, you guys get access to those. We'll talk about how you can utilize that. I've created a sharing token through Smart Campaign. So I haven't built out a Smart Campaign. These are meant for email templates. I will explain in just a minute here. So hang on to your hats for that. Additionally, we'll talk a little bit about kind of holiday posting. Maybe you want to, utilize, I always think holidays are a great opportunity to, post on your social media pages, fancy, update your website, post to maybe send out mass emails and text to all your contacts, just an occasion to reach out. I use every holiday for that. So we'll talk a little bit about ways that you can personalize for the holiday. I think a lot of people get excited about it. It's just a great way to re-engage. So we'll talk a little bit about holiday posting, website updates. Now, I want to let you guys know I will also be your trainer for the Success Meetup on Tuesday next week, which is actually Valentine's Day. So if we don't hit on all these features here today, we might talk a little bit about this on Valentine's Day itself. If not, we'll just talk about things we love about KV Core. That'll probably be my topic for next week. So we're going to get into some Valentine's Day items in preparation for the holiday. I just thought it was a good idea to get a jump start on it in case you want to, say, schedule some emails ahead of time or make updates prior to the official holiday. All right. So yes, in my doc that I've included here, I've got links. I've got a little challenge for you to complete. Going to encourage you guys to update your own KV Core accounts with these updates after we talk about them. And then I also like to let you know, just for being here today, if maybe you're, maybe you're getting pulled at all sides and you're not able to, fully watch this webinar, or maybe you joined a little late, I try to add in today's recording link to this doc as well. So I always try to add those to the docs that I create. For anyone who may be watching this recording later on through the YouTube channel, just letting you guys know, we'll try to post those docs in the description below the YouTube video as well. So multiple ways, hopefully you guys can all access this just fine. So let's jump into today's topic. Let's show your contacts some love for Valentine's Day. So I'm going to start with a little discussion about holiday messaging. Now, you can absolutely, on the day of Valentine's Day or whatever holiday is coming up, you can jump into your KV Core platform. You could go to your CRM. You can mass email and text all your contacts from the CRM. Now, I tend to kind of, explain all the options because we've got a mixed group here. This is a general session. Some of you I know may have years of experience using KV Core, and some of you, this may be, maybe you just joined with us this week, whatever the case may be. So talking about kind of all the options. I could do it, on the spot, mass email, mass text. I could check off everybody. You can create your own filters in the system. Maybe you want to pinpoint, people that will receive holiday messaging. Maybe you give everybody in your database who receives holiday cards or holiday emails a hashtag. Holiday email, holiday card, holiday list, whatever the case may be. So you can pinpoint those people. If you want to narrow it down, maybe you don't want to send this Valentine's Day message to everyone. Maybe you guys even want to be more specific and send different kinds of messages to, say, your sphere contacts, as opposed to maybe a new lead, as opposed to people that are currently your clients or people you've closed a deal with. So lots of filtering options there. I think just for time-saving purposes, rather than sending that mass email or text on the spot, which you can actually do if you just forgot to do it ahead of time, one of my favorite features of KV Core, it's located in the marketing tab, is the scheduled mass email feature. Now, if you're not acquainted with this feature, you guys all have access to it in your KV Core platforms. Again, I went to the marketing tab here on the left. And I'm going to go ahead and click Get Started. And schedule mass email, I really love this, not just for holiday messaging. If anyone's ever wanted to make, say, a monthly newsletter in the platform, something like that, I really love this feature for kind of building it out in advance and then choosing a day to send it out and setting it and forgetting it. So I'll go ahead and I'll click schedule mass email over here on the right, and we'll just do a quick little demo. So what I'm going to do here is I get to choose first. I like to do it left to right just for clarity. I'm going to choose who I'm sending this message to. So you got a couple options with the schedule mass email feature. I can choose to send it to all contacts from a specific saved filter. So let me back up for anyone who's not familiar with that just yet. When I was in the CRM and I was clicking around on those filters, just so you know, in your CRM, if you regularly filter for the same group of people, and there's lots of filtering options in your CRM, it's not just by, their status, who's a prospect, who's a new lead. You can also pinpoint them by, are they a buyer or a seller? I can also pinpoint them by my own custom hashtags. I can pinpoint them by the source of where they came from. Maybe I just want to focus on website leads. Maybe I want to focus on leads that are coming from a specific advertisement that I'm posting. I can focus maybe for email purposes. Maybe if I'm sending them a holiday email, maybe I also want to filter by who has an email as opposed to, I don't want to bother, adding people who don't have emails to this list. And I could even pinpoint who's already receiving alerts or reports or campaigns from me. Maybe if they're also receiving, alerts and campaigns, maybe I don't want to send additional messaging. Personal preference, you decide what works for you. So lots of filtering options, property interests, etc. So if you go and you filter for a specific group of people over and over, just know that you can go and save that filter. You can even pin it to your CRM. So I've got some examples here. Active lead buyer with email, people interested in pet rentals, pool home buyers with email, real people with email, unengaged leads, unengaged prospects. So those are just a couple of examples of just random ones that I've built out in my system. And pretty easy, just go filter for whatever feature you like. And what you can do is you just click that little save filters button. You get to choose the name. And if you want to pin it, so that way it's pinned to your CRM, so you see it at the top or in that little sidebar, you just click the toggle for pinning it. And that's how you save a filter. So that's one way you can pinpoint who you're adding to the scheduled mass email. I could also just do it by hashtag. So that was one of the first examples I gave. So sorry, losing my voice a little bit here today. One of the first examples I gave is maybe I've hashtagged, created my own custom label in the system where I've gone and chosen who is listed as part of my holiday card list, for example. So that's what I've got here as an example. If you're not familiar with adding hashtags to your contacts, you can go and filter for your contacts, or I could go and select. I could go check off whoever I want. Maybe I'm just going to check all these 3 people. These are new leads that are added to the system. Maybe I want them to have that hashtag. I'll go to mass actions, add hashtag. And if I already have holiday card list in there, if I start typing it in, it's going to show that in the drop-down menu. If I haven't created that hashtag already, I can just create it now on the spot and update those tags. So that's another option in scheduled mass feature. I can just choose people by their hashtag if I just want to pinpoint a specific group. So saved filter, hashtag, or I can choose by status. So maybe I want to send, might sound a little crazy, but maybe I actually want to send this scheduled mass email to every single person in my CRM. If I choose every single status, except it won't let you choose archived, I'll let you know. Not that if they're archived, then they're unsubscribed from all messaging. So you wouldn't be sending them a message anyhow. But effectively, I could click every single status if I want to send this message to everyone in my CRM. Just something to note about mass emailing and texting through the CRM. While you're sending those messages right away, I will let you know if you've got thousands of people in your CRM, there is a limit to how many contacts you can see at one time. Now, for my demo account, for all the trainers demos account, we can only view 10 rows at a time, unfortunately, but you guys can separate it by, 50 people at a time, 100 people at a time. I think the cap is at 250 people at a time. So if you've got more than 250 people at a time and you want to really send this message out to every single person in your database, scheduled mass emails could be kind of an alternate method for you. Now, I will let you know for anyone that is concerned about, can we really send it to that many people? What about it being detected as spam, things like that? I will let you know that for large mass emails, such as this, KV Core will typically kind of send them out in batches to help prevent your email from being flagged as spam. Okay, so lots of options here. I'm going to actually just start with Sphere, because once I get into those email templates that I mentioned that I've pre-created for you guys for Valentine's Day, I created a couple different variations, and they could be more specific to who it is you're sending it to. So I've created kind of a Sphere example. I've created a Valentine's Day message that's meant for kind of newer leads, and a Valentine's Day message that's meant for probably your clients or people you closed a deal with. So let's go into those options. So I'm choosing who it's been sent out to. I'm the one who's sending them out to my contacts. I get to choose the date that it's sent out on. I'll go ahead and I'll choose that real quick. I'm going to send it out, we'll say on Valentine's Day. Now, little pro tip here, some of you may want to consider sending this out the day before or the day after. Think about your contacts. In a lot of cases, people's emails, their inboxes are flooded at the holidays if they're receiving like a lot of, messaging for different advertisements and things like that. So sometimes it can help set you apart if you want to send this a day early or a day late. Something to consider. So you decide your own strategy here. I'll just choose Valentine's Day. And then you also get to choose a time at which it's sent out. Again, keep in mind of those batch emails, it may send out a little later than you originally set, depending on how many people you're sending it out to. I'm going to go ahead and choose, we'll just choose 10 a.m. I feel like that's a nice time to start sending those emails. All right, now we're going to head over to templates. I could build my own email right here from scratch. And just letting you know, when you're using the scheduled mass email feature, if I just start typing in a message, this is using the basic email editor. So I can add photos in here. I can change the system font, but it's pretty basic. Where you get into kind of some of the fun features of our email options here at KV Core is using the advanced email editor. So you see that blue button on the right. One thing I will let you know, the information, if I start typing out a message in the basic editor and then decide, oh, I meant to use the advanced editor and all the tools in the advanced editor, if I go to switch, it doesn't save my changes. So do decide when you first start an email, if you're using the basic editor in KV Core or the advanced editor. And for those of you that don't know the difference, let's go and showcase that next. So I'm going to click the advanced editor here. You'll always see a pop-up. It'll ask you if you're sure, because it will remind you that those changes will not be saved. I'll go ahead and I'll say yes. I haven't started anything yet, so I'm not losing any information. Now, all the templates that I pre-created for you guys for Valentine's Day are using the advanced email editor tool. And you'll notice there's a lot of content options. I can add images, just go and drag and drop. I can add buttons. We'll talk about some button options in a minute. I can add page dividers, social media links, dynamic content. We can add in HTML if I wanted to, video, icons, the list goes on and on. So lots of boxes that I can add into my platform or add into my email. Now, I'm going to actually instead use a template that I've added to my system, and I'll show you how you guys can add this template to your KV Core accounts in just a minute. So hang on tight for that, but I'll give you a little demo first. So I'm going to type in Valentine's, and you'll see I've created a couple for Success Meetup. I'm not sure why I'm seeing double here. We'll go and we'll check that in a minute here, but I will let you know, for KV Core in general has created a lot of pre-created templates for you. You can see all of your template options actually in the marketing tab under Smart Campaigns. So for anyone who's never explored this, Smart Marketing tab, Smart Campaigns, there's a template option over here on the right. And I'm just realizing in hindsight, I don't think I added a support link about templates. So let me go ahead and add this template link for you guys in that little link or that little doc that I created for you guys. So just sharing it in the doc for you guys now. There we go. And I'll also post it in the chat, a little article, support article about templates. But again, it was under marketing, smart campaigns. I click on the template box on the right. And this is where you can create your own custom templates. You can see all the pre-created templates for you in KV Core. Now, these just aren't just for emails. You can create templates for text messages, call reminder templates, task reminder templates. There's lots of different options. And I can go and I can search if I know the name of that that template that I want to use. I can go and search for it. If I want to make my own copy that I can make edits to, I just make a clone of any of these templates. So just a little overview of that option for you. Now I'll let you know KV Core has, lots of different situations for different follow-ups to calls. So here's just a really basic post-call email template. It says hi, first name. Something I'll also point out in KV Core, we've got what's called merge tags in a lot of our templates. So if you're not sure, oh, it says first name, am I supposed to type that in? KV Core auto-fills that wherever there's a merge tag or something that's encased in those fancy brackets there, it's going to auto-fill in that information. I'll let you know this little sun icon right here. This is where you can go to see all of our merge tag options. There's a lot of autofill options. So according to lead, we can add in their first name, last name, full name, primary phone. You can insert your own agent information, lender information, office information, if you're part of a team, or listing information to have that autofill in your emails. Just insert a merge tag. And then when you're sending it out to people, even if you're sending that message in mass, it's going to autofill in the appropriate information. Okay. So, but anyways, KV Core has lots of template options. If you go type in holiday, you'll see that there's lots of holiday options. We do cover most of the basics, kind of the most pronounced holidays, I would say. So Thanksgiving, New Year's, those happy holidays ones are typically kind of Christmas related. I don't think they actually say Christmas, but you get the idea. So there's lots of options in there, some Halloween ones, but you'll notice if you go search that there isn't a Valentine's Day template. So that's what I went and created for you guys today. We'll preview a couple of them and then we'll go and we'll grab them. So you can set these up in your own accounts as, whatever you guys are ready. As soon as we're off this call here, you can go jump into your KV Core accounts and get started. So I've created 3 for you guys. I've created a sphere one, a new lead one, and a closed one. I'll go grab the sphere one real quick. And this does use the advanced editor. So it does take just a second to load. And you can personalize these however you want. So for a sphere, and anyone who's not familiar with the term sphere, when I'm talking about my sphere contacts in terms of, all the contacts that I know, I'm talking about, people that are closest to me, probably friends, family members, could be coworkers, could be neighbors. They're not necessarily a lead. They may or may not be interested in real estate. Sphere is just kind of a catch-all for my contacts, as far as we determine it, or as far as we kind of define it here at KV Core. So that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about your sphere contacts. So this is kind of the most general option that I've created. Now you can go and adjust the subject bar that they'll see. They're not going to see what your template's called, but they'll see the subject bar when you send that email out to them. So I made the subject bar wishing you a lovely Valentine's Day. Got a little image here, says happy Valentine's Day, wishing you happiness on this Valentine's Day and every day. Have a little pop in for your email signature. And I've included, and I went and dragged this little social icon, dragged it down to the bottom. Now for you guys, if you want to use this, you will have to pop in your social media links. Now, if you don't have a Twitter, you just click delete and there we go, that icon disappears. A little pro tip, whenever you're sending out mass emails or even text messages that include your signature, it's always a good idea to put your contact information or social media links. Share that out whenever possible. Yeah, this is for my sphere. It's for everyone, friends and family, but it's never a bad idea to remind them of my business. Now, I don't want to shove it in their faces. Hey, go check out my website, go sign up for search alerts. You could, personal preference. But again, I made this very general, so it's kind of approachable to everyone. but I can go and add in social media links as I see fit. So you guys have that option that you can go and, add in your personal links when you use the template, or if you don't want to use, say that those social links at all, you can just go and delete it entirely if you want, and it'll keep the other messaging. You'll also have the ability to edit this message. If that's not what you wanted to say, go ahead and make sure it says what you want. You can even change the photo image. But again, these are just kind of some default ones to get you started. The other two, which I've created for you guys just for fun, helps if you spell it right. I'm going to type in Valentine. We'll take a look at the new lead one. So when we think of new leads here at KV Core, we're thinking about people that you know just about nothing about. Now, these are not the same as your prospects or your active leads here at KV Core. If you're not familiar with the statuses that we label contacts with, I'll share out another support article for you guys. This is called the KV Core Dictionary. Popping that in the chat right now. And in the KV Core Dictionary, there's a whole section on basic categories for your leads. How do we label them? Status is one of the main ways. We talked also about hashtags. And I think when I was going through filters, I also pointed out deal type. But statuses, when we're talking about new leads, we're talking about people that maybe came in through, say, a Facebook ad, or maybe they were clicking around on your website and they registered. And you don't know anything really about this person other than what your website or that ad captured for their contact information. They are a new lead to you, and you're on a fact-finding mission to determine where are they at in this process. Did they click on your website because they love looking at million-dollar mansions, or did they click on that website because they're actually searching for homes in the next, say, 3 to 6 months? So you're in the process of trying to engage with them to find out where they are in that process. So this one I built out for kind of those newer leads. Subject I made was let me help you find a home you love. Now you can make this more directly Valentine related, but from our new leads, we're trying to get them engaged with us. We've captured them. There's obviously some interest in real estate there because they either checked out, say, your website or an advertisement, or that's kind of how you caught their contact information. So I did a cute little video or cute little photo here, a little pathway lined with hearts. Hi, first name. Thank you for viewing listings on my website. Feel free to edit that text if you've caught them through advertisements, or if you want to exclude that entirely, you can do that. And the message says, please let me know if I can lead you down the path to finding a home that you'll love. And feel free to rephrase this however you see fit. Wishing you love and happiness this Valentine's Day. Include your name. And I've added, in this case, some buttons. You could instead do your social media links, but I tried to change these up a little bit just to give you some different variations and some different examples of how you can use the advanced email editor tool. So for these buttons, again, if you want to use buttons, you don't want to send this out exactly as is. You'll have to put a little work. You'll have to do a little edit. So if I click on search homes for sale, I get to choose where the button directs them to. I added that button text there. You could change this button. It could say something else if you want to. If you maybe want to create one specifically that says, click here for a home valuation, and maybe you direct them to the home valuation link, the sell tab on your website. That could work too. So search homes for sale. I would go to my KV Core website, which if you're not familiar with how to view your KV Core website, if you go click on that little hidden menu in the upper right-hand corner, that third icon down, typically it's the third, that little globe icon is how you access your KV Core website. So I could go and grab my URL up here, copy that, go back to that scheduled mass email and pop that in the URL link right here. And that way, when they go click on this, search homes for sale, in this case, I'd probably actually want to go to my search tab on my website and use that URL rather than directing them just to the main page of my website. Get them directly to where they want to go, so they're not tempted to kind of click elsewhere, or, oh, I don't want to click around. I don't want to search for it themselves. Make it as easy as possible. That's always going to ensure the best results. So I might go to the search tab. You could even, if you want to direct people to a specific location or area, you go and filter for that person, use a more specific URL if you want to. That'll be where they're directed to. So you just post that in the little URL button right there. So that's going to redirect them. Now, letting you know with buttons, I'm using these where they're just going to, in this case, I'm just directing them to a web page. There's a couple different options for what that link does. So another little example here, I've got a button here that says contact me. For this one, rather than directing them to a URL, which I could do also, maybe I send them to, maybe I have my agent profile and it's got all my contact information on that. Maybe that's where I direct them to. But I could also do, instead of opening up a web page, I could direct them to send me a text message or call me. So kind of cool features with these buttons here. So for example, if I hit send text message, I could pop my cell phone number in here and the message that, I want them to send. So little option there as well with those buttons. You would have to fill out your contact information to make those buttons work accurately. If you don't want to use these buttons, if you don't want to take that time, you can use the template as is. I would just remove these buttons before you send it on out to someone. Okay, so a little example there. Oh, never mind. I don't want to do that just yet. Notice in the chat here, Kristen said she's worried about emails going to your contacts spams or goes to promotions. So for your personal contacts in the CRM, it's never a bad idea to, send them an email, send them a text, let them know, hey, this is, my work email, my work phone, bookmark this, add this as a contact in your email. That way it always goes to your direct inbox. Now, I will also share out a little article about spam, because I know some people are concerned about their emails being flagged as spam. The support article has, let's see, unless they've changed this up a little bit. We had an article specifically, spam filter testing. Yeah. So this one is a great article with some kind of pro tips on ways that you can make your emails less likely to go to spam. So there's a little infographic about preventing it, little pro tips for your email signature. Whenever possible, you want to give good contact information, even possibly, if your brokerage has an office location, not a bad idea to add in things like a actual location address that helps legitimize your email. So it just doesn't look like it's coming from, a robot. I know a lot of emails are now kind of cracking down on spam, so I know that's always a concern. But and then my work email is an exclusive domain to the company. It's not a Gmail account, etc. Maybe that's what's causing it. Okay. Hopefully that helps to, yeah, I would definitely read over this article if you're concerned about that. That may actually help a little bit. Okay, so let's go on to my third template example here. And I'm going to type in Valentine's one more time, and I'm going to show a closed example. Now, I'll also give you some pro tips. If you want to build your own email from scratch, go ahead and do it. If you're looking for great examples for photo images, before I go and I share out this one, I really love, for a couple of examples, if you're looking for free stock photos, because you don't want to grab just any photo offline. Always a good idea to check for those free stock photos so you don't get in trouble for stealing someone else's photos. I'm a big fan of Pexels. I'm also a big fan of Unsplash. And these have some really excellent, I would say, photo examples. So if you're looking for something Valentine's-y, after we talk about scheduled mass emails, and we're also going to talk about maybe making some landing page postings for your social media pages. We might also talk a little bit about website updates. Again, if we don't get to everything today, this might be topics that we'll talk about next week on Valentine's Day. But I'll just pop a couple of, again, links in the chat for you guys. Unsplash, you could search for Valentine's Day photos, love photos, heart photos. I tend to choose something that's a little bit more neutral. So rather than love, which tends to show a lot of people, staying away from things like relationships and whatnot, I want something a little bit more generic, a little bit more approachable. I found hearts gave a lot of great examples. You can also think about flowers. So we're thinking about, pink photos, red photos to use. So here's also a link for Pexels. So just a couple examples for you guys. So you can you can go and load your own photos in your email editor and make your own versions of these as well. So here's another example. This one I meant for kind of possibly your clients, but also people you closed a deal with. Share love with all of your contacts. One of the things that we really like to emphasize here at KV Core for your CRM, it's a good idea to bring in everyone. Your CRM doesn't necessarily have to be a tool just for your new leads. You can bring in your personal contacts, your friends and family. You can send them holiday messaging like what I'm showing here. You can make sure they receive messages automated on their birthdays, so you look like you always remember their birthday. You can bring in other agents. Maybe you want to keep track of every agent you've ever done a deal with. Add them to your CRM. Give them hashtag pleasure to work with. Give them a hashtag, don't know if I'd work with them again, whatever the case may be. So you can really add everyone in there. And that's helpful not just to stay organized, so you know where to grab everyone's contact information from, but having them all in your CRM will make sure that you're following up with everyone. It's not a bad method to have a piece of automation or have a plan of action for everyone. You are one individual, but the amount of people especially in a business like real estate, you're meeting new people every day. You're hopefully shaking hands at the grocery store, at the bank, everywhere you go, because you never know where your next lead's coming from. So once it gets kind of that large, that's when a system like KV Core can really help you to make sure you're staying on top of everyone, that you're staying top of mind in everyone's mind. I hear it quite often that, agents may find out from a friend or family member, maybe you go to a function and you hear someone very well just sold their home or purchased a home with a different real estate agent. And they just plumb forgot that you work in real estate. Don't let that happen. Stay engaged with everyone. It's kind of the point I'm making here. So anyways, so this example here, the subject I added in here just for fun is, did I mention I love being your real estate agent? Again, feel free to change this to whatever phrasing makes sense to you. That's just what I popped in for the subject here. Put a little thank you with a heart image in here. Hi, first name. Just want to reach out and thank you for choosing me for all of your real estate needs and wish you a wonderful Valentine's Day. And again, I added those social media links in there. So again, if you want to use these, make sure you're popping in your social media links there. Don't send it out exactly as is. You got to make sure to pop in your social media links, or else this won't direct them anywhere if you try to send it out. Okay, so we've demoed some of those options. Again, we've kind of done the whole process. We've chosen who we're sending it to. We chose the date we're sending it out on. You choose the template that you want, make any edits if you need to. Again, for this case, this is for people I've closed a deal with. So I would probably choose close. Oh, it's not contract, closed status. There we go. I might also, this would probably be appropriate for clients as well. Again, depends on where they are in that client process, how you're labeling people, or you could just specifically hashtag who this goes out to. And I'll choose close. I'll hit schedule. And we're wrapping up the process there. Okay. So now it says it's going to send out on Valentine's Day. It's going to send to all my closed contacts. It'll give you a number estimate of how many contacts fall into that category. Again, I'm working in a demo account, so my numbers are probably a lot lower than what you should expect to see in your KV Core accounts. I think I only have something like 30 or 40 test leads in my demo account here. So I'm not too worried about the fact that this says 0, but you should see hopefully a solid number in your accounts. And then I can always go back and edit this up until the date that it sends out. And then after it sends out, you'll see that there's a little check mark that it was sent. And you always go back and view those past messages that you've sent in here. It does say the history of it. All right, so how can you get those Valentine's Day email templates? Well, I'm going to talk about it. We're going to go to marketing, go to smart campaigns, and how you can get these templates added to your account. Sounds a little crazy, but I'm going to give you a token for a smart campaign that has these templates. And if you add that smart campaign to your account, it's going to auto add those email templates to your account as well. So here's how it works. Now, if you guys have grabbed my agenda that I popped in the chat, and for anyone who's shown up late, maybe didn't get this from the beginning, I'm going to pop it again. Here's the link for the agenda. Again, anyone who's watching this recording through, say, YouTube down the road, the agenda should be in the text box underneath the video. So from the agenda, I've got a sharing token here. You would go and you would copy this sharing token. Now, very important, we're going to go back to KV Core. We're going to go to marketing. We're going to go to Smart Campaigns. That's the page I'm on right now. And just to the right, you see a green button that says Add Campaign. And to the right of that, there's just a little box. It's actually your sharing token box. So just so you know, you also have the capability in KV Core. If you create a custom Smart Campaign or custom templates, you can share this with, say, other agents in your brokerage or other KV Core users. So I can go click this little share token option, and it opens up and says, please enter a campaign token to copy. So I'm going to paste that on in there, and then I'm going to click that button again. It's going to ask if I'm sure, and it will let you know that this process can take up to 15 minutes complete. It'll take a little bit of time for that campaign to load into your campaign options. And you'll receive an email once the campaign is in your account. So I'll go ahead and I'll hit yes. Or, well, I've actually added this to mine, so I'm going to say no in this case. But if you want access to those Valentine's Day templates, you would say yes. Don't worry, it doesn't mean I have access to your accounts or anything like that. So it goes and loads on in there. It'll take a couple of minutes before you see that campaign show up. You'll get a little reminder email. Let's see if I can pull that up. I can show you guys what that looks like, that your campaign was added. So you'll see a little message. It'll look a little something like this on my screen that says your Smart Campaign was, it'll tell you that your campaign was copied over. So it'll let you know that it was successfully cloned over. That typically comes, I think that email is going to come from noreply@kvcore.com, just so you're aware. Okay, so once you get that email that your campaign was added in, here's how we go to get the templates. Well, as soon as that campaign is added, you have those templates. So as soon as you get that confirmation, or after 15 minutes, you can always go to the template section and you can just look for, say, it'll be under the email. I have only made email templates. You can make your own text templates. I feel like the email ones are a little bit more fun, a little bit more creative. So those are what I've created for you guys here today, but you can just type in Valentine's or anywhere where you utilize templates. So if they're in your template section, that means they're also available. If I go to the Smart CRM and say, send a mass email, I'll check off everybody here, send a mass email, type in Valentine's, there we go. The templates should also show there. You'll probably only, if it's working accurately, you should just have one copy of each. I think I've also loaded these into our company account, hence why it says I have 2 copies of each. You'll just have one. But I could do it, again, you can do these on the spot. If you just want to send these out on Valentine's Day from your Smart CRM, you can do it that way, or you could do it again through the marketing tab. Today, you could set up a scheduled mass email if you wanted to just choose the date in the future, which it sends out on. So whichever method, wherever you see a template, you'll be able to choose those Valentine's Day options that I've created for you guys. You shouldn't have to clone it once you get it. So great question, Terry, in the chat. It should already show that it's made for you. So once you go and add in that token, it should already show that that's a copy for you. So you should have the ability, you'll see I've got edit buttons to the side of these. So I can go and edit them on the spot. I don't have to clone it. Yeah, absolutely. So great question. And then one thing I'll also mention, so what we added was a campaign, but the way I've created this, it's not meant to be used as a campaign. Let me just quickly explain the difference there. I've just made individual email templates. To correctly operate a campaign is typically sequenced messaging. So, day 1, they receive this email. Day 2, they receive a text message. Day 3, a scheduled call, or they could be all emails or all texts. But essentially, it's a sequence over a sequence of days is how campaigns typically work. That's not what we're using this for. So after you've gone and you've added this, you can actually go and find, it'll say Valentine's Day email templates SM for success meetup. So should be pretty easy to find. Once those templates are added to your system, you can actually go and delete this campaign out. You won't need it anymore. So you can go and click on the name and click remove campaign. Now, if you leave it in there, that's not going to trigger anything for anyone. It's turned off automatically. And even if you did go accidentally turn it on, I'll let you know I've built this campaign where the trigger is hashtag KV Core Success Meetup, which you're not likely to add that hashtag to any of your leads. And for all of these emails, I've set it up. I set it up so that these emails, if you were to accidentally turn it on and add hashtag KV Core Success Meetup, these emails will send to you and not the contact. So there's no way you can accidentally run this campaign. Again, they're not meant to be used for a campaign. This is just so you can have those templates added to your system. So let me know in the chat or the Q&A if that doesn't make sense to anyone. I'm happy to try to explain it whatever way makes sense, but hopefully that's clear for everyone. Again, this is just a way to share out templates through that campaign token sharing feature. So after you've got those templates in there, you can go ahead and remove the campaign if you want to. The template should stay in your template options. But there you go. You got some template options. That's checking off box number 1 for showing your contacts some love. Now, we used a lot of our time just talking about the different messaging options. Now, again, I just shared out mass emails here. You could build out a campaign. Scheduled mass email obviously is just for sending out emails. I can't schedule text messages ahead of time, but I could, if I wanted to, say, build out a smart campaign that maybe sends someone an email and a text message on Valentine's Day. I won't really get into that here today, but just know that's an option. And if you click where it says smart campaign there, it'll open up a whole nother support article on smart campaigns. But I want to pause here and ask for questions. So whether they're related to today's topic or related to anything KV Core, feel free to pop those in the chat or the Q&A, and I will try to answer those. If I don't see any questions in the chat or Q&A, then I will probably kind of continue on with this conversation. And then I think next week, since we probably won't have time today, we'll talk a little bit about updating the website for Valentine's Day. If you want to kind of do that ahead of time, I have had past success meetups where I've updated the website for, say, Christmas. So if you're looking to do something like that, you can always watch a past YouTube video in our Inside Real Estate YouTube channel. I think if you type in Christmas, you'll see a website update webinar on that. And similar ideas, you just pop in maybe a Valentine's Day video or YouTube video or image. Okay. How can I put my initials in front of the Valentine's Day campaign so I can find it easily? Yeah, absolutely. So great tip whenever you are creating your own custom campaigns, or even if you went and you grabbed, say, our pre-existing campaigns from the KV Core library, and maybe you've made your own edits to it, you want to be able to tell it apart from the other campaigns in your My Campaign section. Let me kind of quickly talk through that. So for example, maybe I want to use this buyer nurture 1-year campaign, but I already know I want to edit the messaging for it. Now I can add it to my library. Anything that I've added to my library myself, it will show that I have the options to edit it when I open that campaign up. So let's go. I went back to my campaigns here, and let's go. So something I'll also point out here for, depending on who's the audience today, I might have some admins, I might have some individual agents. Just so you know, for these campaigns, your company might share out campaigns with you as well. If your company has shared out a campaign with you, which I can see under the scope, my company shared out this buyer nurture version. This one, if I go to click on it, I don't have options to edit. I can view what the messaging is, but I don't see an edit option. Now, if you grab your own copy, on the other hand, which is similar to what you did when you kind of copied over that token, you've got your own copy now. If I got my own copy, when I go to click on this, so here's my user version, it's scoped to me, the user, the individual. If I go and click on that, then I've got some edit buttons on the right here, so I can go and edit this messaging. Now for editing the name of a campaign, there's also an edit button up here at the top. So for this one, I'll just go click that edit button. If I'm keeping the campaign pretty much as it is, if I'm just editing the name, then I can just kind of hit next through a lot of these features. The first page of editing a campaign talks about the campaign logic. So how is that campaign triggered to start? Now, I don't need to mess with that. I'm going to leave this campaign how it's originally set up. If you guys want to take a deep dive in that, that's something we can absolutely talk about in another success meetup. Let me know. I think there might also be recordings of this topic in past success meetups as well. So you can find it on the YouTube channel. But I'll go ahead and I'll hit next. Design for refers to kind of what deal types it relates to. So is this campaign meant for buyers, sellers, renters? Is meant for everyone? I'm going to leave it as it is. I don't need to change that. What I'm looking to change is the set details. So this is where I can change the name of the campaign. So little pro tip, if you're making your own edits to campaigns, always a good idea to add in there something like your initials to it. That'll make it really easy for you to locate among your list of campaigns, especially if you've got a couple different copies of the same campaign. You can tell which one, oh, I've edited this one. This one will both stand out to me. So you could add your initials there. You could add, I'm editing this on February 7th. So maybe I'll add the date in there, whatever makes sense to me. You can adjust the description as well if you'd like to. There is a cap on how many characters you can put in these. So you won't be able to draw or explain a really long message in here. But again, this is just for you to be able to see. All right, and then I'm going to hit next. It's going to have me review all that information. Is this what I meant to write? Yes, that's exactly how I want it. I'm going to hit finish. And there we go. It's changed the name. So now when I go back to look at my campaigns, I can easily tell, here's that one that I made custom edits to because it's got my initials in it. So same thing with that Valentine's Day campaign. If you got a lot of campaigns, it probably won't show up on the first page. You can either flip through your campaign options, or a little pro tip, you can always type in the search bar. It again helps if you spell it right. I don't know why I keep typing Valentine's Day in wrong. I guess I can't talk and type at the same time. There we go. So I typed Valentine's Day or Valentine in the search bar. There's that Valentine's Day version. If I want to make my own version of this, which you could do, and I can edit the title if you want to. I can also edit how these work. So maybe I want to remove these other messages in here. And maybe I want to keep this email for my sphere contacts. I could do that. So I could go, what I would edit is how the message is being sent out. Again, I put these kind of safety pieces in place where it won't directly send to your contacts. But if you want this to be something that can send to the contacts, you can have this send from the from you. So it looks like it's coming from you to your contacts. So you would change from to. It also changed the date and time. I have this to send out one day after I put this person on this campaign. You could instead have it, maybe you're going to set it for them on Valentine's Day. So you want it to run immediately. So you can go and choose that as well and change whatever messaging. You can do it inline in the campaign. I'm going to cancel. So that way I'm not saving those changes. That way I'm not editing this campaign. I'm going to leave it up here for you guys. And then maybe I also want to add, in addition to an email, maybe I want to add in my own action. Maybe I'll also include a Valentine's Day text message. So I could type out my text message here, whatever I want that to be. Again, I would craft a name for that text message. Just for kind of template examples, I would choose, again, that it's going to come from me to that contact. I would choose the date or time that it's sent out, and I can add that in there as well. So just some other ideas to think about. Again, I think tomorrow, based on what is scheduled, actually great kind of segue into this. If you're looking for more ways to do customizations to smart campaigns, trigger different actions, come back for tomorrow's success meetup with Heather. She's going to talk about using Zapier to trigger actions inside of smart campaigns. So a little bit more advanced. Zapier is a third-party connection tool. And in Zapier, there's all different ways that you can connect. You could say if you're using a third-party service that sends out, say, physical postcards, you could have an action in a campaign trigger a message to go to Zapier to tell your third-party, postcard tool to send out a physical postcard to someone on a specific date. And that's just kind of one example. I don't know exactly what Heather's presenting on tomorrow, but she's going to talk about Zapier connections to your smart campaign. So little segue there. Hopefully I sold it for you guys. If you're not sure if you wanted to attend tomorrow, that's going to have some great information if you want to get really advanced with your smart campaigns. All right, let's see. Do we have any other questions in the Q&A or chat? I do see that someone's got their hand up in the chats. Did you have a question? Feel free to pop those in the Q&A or chats. Oh, where can I get the recording? Absolutely. Yeah, little reminder. This webinar is recorded. I will pop it at the bottom of our agenda. So give me a couple hours after today's presentation. I'll show that in the agenda. So if you clicked on this link, it'll be there. Otherwise, we'll try to post these recordings in both the Facebook group and on the YouTube channel. And you can access both links. Little reminder, it's going to be, if you go to the, I'm not sure why I'm on BHS Connect. If I go to the live training calendar in the platform, you'll have links at the top to both the Facebook group and the YouTube channel. And I did post those in the chat. I think they're also in the agenda, but just letting you know there's multiple ways to get there. All right. So I think we're going to wrap it up here for today. I think we're cutting a little bit close for me to dive into too much more information. Come back next week if you love this content, you want to do more holiday type things. We'll create something like maybe a custom landing page with a Valentine's Day background, inviting people to come check out our website. We'll talk a little bit about maybe adding a Valentine's Day background to the website, dress it up for Valentine's Day, change custom colors if that's an interest of yours. That'll kind of be our topic for next week. So I thank you guys so much for attending. I hope this was helpful. Again, utilize this agenda, use those support links. Hope you guys enjoy the sharing token. Make sure to share the love this holiday season or this Valentine's Day month. And I wish you guys lots and lots of luck with your KV Core platforms. Take care, everyone. Have a wonderful rest of your day.